Okay, the last show of the year. I gotta say this because I have been considering this because we already know that this is the last show for Impact. They won't start until January 3rd. WWE has also pre-taped their stuff. So starting after TLC, they got nothing but recordings. So there's a good possibility I might not do any SmackDown reviews. Doesn't mean anyone's watching anyway, so I probably won't be doing any SmackDown reviews, and I won't definitely not going to do any Raw reviews. Raw is so damn disgusting, I can't stand it. So this might be it for the rest of the year unless I try to do a new show, which I am considering. So what do we get for this Impact? We got a lot. This was a good show with some good content that I have to say you should see it. You shouldn't just hear my review of it, you should see this. Yeah, it's not perfect and it's a lot of lackingness in certain things. But you can say honestly, compared to Raw, compared to SmackDown Live, this is good. So first thing I want to say is Falaba and Cam were not seen. But the Debsy Hit Squad was seen. The Debsy... I think the reason I botched so damn bad is because I want to marry Scarlett Bordeaux. She is so freaking beautiful. And when it comes down to it, she said, you know what? Well, let me back up. You got the boys basically saying they want Scarlett Bordeaux. You got... The guy is pretty much in his 60s. Gaba wants Scarlett Bordeaux's panties. He wants them. He wants to look at them. He wants to praise them. He wants to kiss them. And if he had the rest of her, I think he'd collapse with a heart attack. So when it comes down to it, these guys are basically telling him... They want to tell him he's not supposed to go after her. He's married already. It's our time. But as they're talking, Scarlett Bordeaux... I'm botching Scarlett Bordeaux's name because I want her so bad. She's so pretty. But let's put it in this perspective. Scarlett had already said she was interested in the Rascals. Now that the Debsy Hit Squad got a win, she pretty much said, you know what? I'm kind of disappointed in the Rascals, but you did win. I love it when men fight over me, so I want you two to go after each other. So you're going to probably see the Rascals. I could be wrong. I think it was what she said was the Rascals because I was hypnotically tranced by her beauty, wanting to look at her cleavage, against the Debsy Hit Squad. This is what we'll have, which will be interesting if it's a feud just over her. I'm alright with that. As long as it's understood that Scarlett must be the one who's the most apparent thing there. Now, saying the Debsy Hit Squad is not being cared about is not exactly good. Saying the Rascals, if that's what I heard her say, which I believe she did say that, that's not good to say that. But if she's managing them both, that is the most important thing. They need a manager, both of them. So let all all 6 of them have a beautiful female woman controlling them and manipulating them. Now, since we're on the woman kick, let's get this done. Should I do the interview first? Or you know what? No. Jordynne Grace versus what was her name? What was her name again? Ruby Rez. Okay. This was a good power wrestling match. Now, I agree with John Collis. When you look at Jordynne Grace, she is a female version of Rhino. A very physical person that is built like a brick. She doesn't have super curves. Yeah, she got a nice butt. I won't say she isn't pretty with a nice butt. She does. The boobs are not the most apparent thing on Jordynne Grace. It is her face and her booty. But when you look at Jordynne Grace, she is a thick, solid wrestler. Doesn't matter what sex she is. She is a Rhino in training. Rhino has always been known to be someone that can destroy someone with his spear. And Jordynne Grace can be someone that can destroy somebody with her bear hug. In this case, she didn't use the bear hug to win. She used straight up power to go up against Ruby Rez. It wasn't exactly the greatest match. I do still think Jordynne Grace is a bit green when she's in the ring. She is 23, even though she has been working, since she's about 14 years old. So she's 16 or 14 or 16 years old. So I do believe she might still be a little green due to the fact that she was so young and maybe not 100% experience in American wrestling. Lucha Libre, she probably is. Maybe some Japan wrestling, yes, but working with regular American wrestlers, she might not be totally familiar with them. But in this match, she did pretty well. And in fact, she destroyed Rez. She just did. It looked good. In the end, she basically destroyed Rez and destroyed Katarina at the same time. I didn't catch it, but Katarina decided to get into the ring, and she decided to do a freaking muscle buster on her and ended it that way. I was fine with it. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with her next year. She is the next one in line for that title. I'm saying it right now. I know a lot of people love Tessa Blanchard. Tessa's good, and I'm going to talk about her in a moment with Taya. But Jordynne Grace is untapped talent. And I truly believe because of the way she's built, she will be different than any woman on any roster. It's not because she's fat and chubby, and there's nothing wrong with that. Women who are fat and chubby just as sexy as skinny, thin, and voluptuous women. It don't make no difference. Once you hold them, it don't matter. They feel good, they feel good. But you got different categories of body types, just like with men. Men can be chubby. Men can be super skinny. Men can be totally cock diesel. Men can be thick packaged, like Joey Ryan, who only talks about his dick. But Jordynne is a certain type that you don't see often in wrestling. A solid power lifter that can destroy anyone. Now, talk about that. Let's talk about Tessa and Taya with Josh in the ring doing an interview. We don't normally see, well, when he gets into the ring, it can mean something if it's done right. Now, Josh is a pain in the ass. Not everybody likes him. But I will say he's competent enough to do the job. He is. And I'm alright with that, as long as he knows the role he's in. And John Collis and Scott DeMoe know, I'm remembering the name finally, they know where to put him, as far as I can tell. So when it comes down to when he talked to Tessa and he talked to Taya, he did a good job. Taya basically bringing back what happened in the last couple of matches, that she cheated and she did whatever she could to win. And I gotta say this about Tessa. You guys know how I feel about Tessa. There's always something about her that's missing for me personally. But I will give her credit when credit is due. She has worked. She's worked on her mic skills as much as she's worked on her in-ring skills. As I've said before, if you look at Tessa Blanchard versus Charlotte Flair, Tessa is a better talent because she's the first Tessa Blanchard. Yes, she cares about the heritage of her dad, Telly, but she doesn't make it the most apparent thing about her. She says she's a next generation wrestler, but she shows the reason why, because she doesn't act like her dad. Zero like her father. And then you got Charlotte Flair, who's acting exactly like her father, with a couple of things thrown in, which just looks terrible. She just does not get the job done for me personally. There are moments when she shines, when she's not acting like her father, and then the rest of it is her dad. So when you see Tessa, you can say she did improve her mic skills, and she has improved her ring work. I still don't feel like she's really up to the task yet. They rushed her ass. I know everyone's going to say Tessa's perfect. She's ready now. No. She was rushed. And I know she was rushed. And as much potential she had, she should have been given a slow burn than a rushed fire. I'd rather see her champion next year than this year. She needed more than just to get the title now. I don't want her to be like another Charlotte, who has now 8 freaking reigns over a 4-year period. 8 reigns as women's champion in WWE. And what did she gain from those 8 reigns? 0. 0 out of those 8 reigns, even beating Asuka. So I do not want to see Tessa go down that same road and be rushed. 1 reign is good enough for now. Next year, maybe another reign if she loses the title and gets it back. Don't rush her. Give her time to win the title back with meaning. Not like the Flair, who gets the title every time she turns her head and shows her cleavage. Anyway, she pretty much said, and I'm sorry I went on that rant, she pretty much said this: I would do anything to keep my title. Unlike you want to just play around and just be behind your husband when he's not even doing it right either. You never had the title here, and your husband ain't doing it right even with his title, and Taya ready to rip her head off. I'm fine with that. I'm 100% fine with having the rivalry between them. But here's the thing that made this not right. I'm sorry. I know you guys, and I do myself, do care about Gail Kim. But when you see Gail Kim come back in any form, it's very, very apparent that you need to be wary about it. Because right now, going into Homecoming, you got Gail Kim as a special guest referee. I do not want to see Gail Kim jump from being a referee into going back in the ring again and burying Taya and Tessa. I'm sorry. I do care about Gail if she's used properly. And I don't know if they're going to use her properly. If this is to springboard her back into wrestling again for Impact Wrestling, I don't want it. I don't want it. Not because she doesn't know how to do the job and wrestle. I just don't believe they book her properly. And I don't believe they're going to do it here. You guys can try and say you're wrong. Give me a reason why. But I am very nervous about her coming back and burying Tessa, and burying Taya, and burying Allie, and burying Kiera Hogan. I'll talk about Allie and Kiera Hogan in a moment. Burying them. I don't want it. I'm sorry. I may miss her in the ring, but I don't miss her enough to miss everyone else being in the ring because they get buried. No. That's not happening. I refuse to have that. That's not what I care about. Anyway, let's move on to what happened with Kiera Hogan and when it came to Allie. Allie, you guys already know what I said earlier. Allie has been rushed. I do not believe she should be Dark Side Allie. She should be Allie, the undead bridesmaid. First, she should be an undead bridesmaid. Then Dark Side Allie at the pay-per-view. Then it would make something more substantial. Here, it doesn't feel like it. And then when it comes to Kiera Hogan, her saying that she was willing to go to the wall for Allie. She's willing to die for her friend. She's willing to do anything and not back away from him. She pretty much says, I've done everything I can. She now was ready to kill me. She almost did. I'm done. Now it's time. It's the end. Just like Allie said, the end is near. This is the end. And you basically hear Kiera Hogan say, this is the end. Now, I gotta be honest here. This must lead... I really don't know if Rosemary is finally healed up and is able to come back into the ring. I'm hoping she is. Because if this is only about Kiera Hogan versus Allie and there's nothing after that, if the next Impact after Homecoming doesn't start showing Rosemary, then this was just a waste. I'm sorry. It's a waste. It is a waste. Yes, you can have the undead bride of Su Yung being the manager of Dark Side Allie, and slowly they start rising so Allie can gain the title as a bad guy. Yes, I know. But really, she needs to go up against Rosemary first, because Rosemary is the reason she became like this. She needs to go up against her, at least see her at the pay-per-view. If it does not happen, this is going to be a major issue. I hope someone remembers I said this because I'll probably forget. Now, Lucha brother Phoenix goes up against LAX brother Santana. I believe this was the best match of the night. I'm not really a big Lucha Libre liker or lover, but I am understanding of how Lucha Libre works. And these two guys went very well. Admittedly, Santana worked better than I'm about to say Ortiz. He worked better than Phoenix because Phoenix in the very beginning was a bit botchy. There was no botch between them both, but I think Phoenix was just slightly more botchier than Santana was as being a little botchy. But their botchiness was very minimal. You watch this match, you will love it. And before the match happened, Conan said 100% because you guys... No, actually he said at first, well, not at first. when Ortiz showed him a picture of the Lucha Brothers doing something, and he's showing, yo, look how our brothers are doing, and he's saying, you really doing this like this? Really? After what happened before and you both were ready to rip each other apart? No. I warned you to leave this alone, but you guys want to go this way. You actually want to do this. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. I'm walking out. You guys on your own. I'm not going to be there when you face the Lucha Brothers. I'm not. And he walks away. Then they have the match, and Phoenix won, and you can see that Santana was like, you actually beat my ass? What the No, I don't like it. But I'm going to still have to fist bump you because you are family. Like this. I don't think I got the picture. But essentially, this is what I'm thinking. I still believe that Conan is going to pick sides. And I do not believe it's going to be LAX. I believe it's going to be Lucha Brothers. I truly believe he's going to pick sides and go to the Lucha Brothers. I didn't pick who before, but I think he may go to the Lucha Brothers. I do not think he's going to go to LAX. I don't think he's going to go back with Santana or Ortiz. Due to the fact they engaged this, I do believe that Conan will eventually go to the Lucha Brothers because he doesn't feel right dealing with Santana or Ortiz. And they're going to turn heel, and they're going to be doing exactly like the OGs, but hopefully they will not be messed up as the OGs were, especially with King, who should be doing something more substantial. Now, we had 2 matches for the last spots in Ultimate X. The first one I can't really say much about because there was no stream. The only thing I saw was when it was Rick Swann who won his match with Dave Chris. And in between that, Willie Mack came out. No, actually, let me roll that back. First, the Chris brothers started beating up on Rick Swann. But then Sammy said, no, leave him. Then Willie Mack came out, started beating up on Sammy Callahan, and it's Rick Swann telling him, leave it alone. When Rick and Willie went to the back, Rick is saying, leave this. And Willie's saying, let me beat the crap out of him. He says, no, I've dealt with him before. I don't want to go down that route. He's the most sadistic son of a bitch you can think of. Please listen to me. You go down that route, you're not going nowhere. And he's trying to get away from it, and he's trying to back away from it. I don't know what this means. I don't. There's something going on between Sammy Callahan and Rick Swann. I don't know what it is, but it is a bit interesting. Now, let me see. Killer Kross had his interview. It was okay. Johnny comes out. It was alright. I'll give it to you like this. Seeing that you're trying to get Johnny to go to the dark side is an interesting idea. And if they don't go all the way with it, having Killer Kross by his side is not helping. I really hope that it's going to be Taya and it's going to be Johnny and they turn heel. I really do think if they turn heel, both of them, it'll be great because from what I understand in Lucha Underground, they both play great heels. And I would like to see them here instead of faces because to be honest, Taya's not too bad as a face. She's cute, but I wouldn't mind seeing her as a nasty, real nasty bitchy heel. And then Johnny, I want to see him more cocky than he is. Because he's cocky because he knows he's good, but he still tries to be a good guy and he comes off boring. Let him be cocky as a heel, and instead of it being boring, it'll be conceited. And I'll enjoy that. That's what I'm hoping for. But I just don't know yet. Let's see. The Rascals. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting things a little mixed up here because I got a lot of notes here. Alright, Eli Drake at the Nut House. Or the Seminary. If I'm pronouncing, I don't even remember what the name of the place is. Whatever it's called. Was with Raven. Now, I think this was the best thing of the entire show. Eli's moment. Maybe that will be the title. I don't know yet. But Eli's moment. When he was dealing with Raven. When he came in and he pretty much said, I had to come see you. Because one of the people that you inspired is going to be giving me a Monster Balls match at the pay-per-view. But I'm going to destroy him. I'm going to take him out. Because of you and others like you. You destroyed the thing I love is wrestling. I am the last of a dying breed because I am the breed that is truly golden. I am truly wrestling, and I'm going to take him out, and I want you to watch. And then when you see Raven, he says, oh, I can't get pay-per-view in here. Then get the freaking app. Knocks over the chessboard, and he says, orderlies, he just messed the chessboard and said, get the hell off me, and walks away. I love this segment. It made Eli shine. He's one of the best talkers in the company. The best, as far as I'm concerned. The best. There are many that are really good. Sami Callihan's really good. Moose is really getting up there. Really, Killer Kross is good. But Eli's the best. For me personally, there's nobody better. I love Eli. As it comes down to it in wrestling circles itself, you got Eli Drake, who's one of the best talkers. As a heel, he's one of the best. I think as a face or a heel, you put him either way, he will get it done. He's one of the top 10 for me personally. He really is. Now, I'm not going to really say much about Trevor Lee versus Trey Miguel. We already know Trevor Lee won. And that's what happened with Scarlett Bordeaux, that beautiful, gorgeous woman. I keep messing up her name because I wish that she would want me. But anyway, I don't need to say much about it. It was a good match, but I don't need to say anything. The last thing of the night was Brian Cage versus Moose. Good match. Second best match of the night. I'm not going to describe what happened. I'm not a blow-by-blow guy. But I will say this. Both these guys are power, flat-out fighters. And between the two, I think Moose was a much better ring general than Brian Cage is. Brian Cage is good, but he's more of a X Division wrestler than he is a main event wrestler. Doesn't mean it is that he's not great, but he's more of an X Division mindset compared to Moose that is an X Division. So Moose was one who really dictated most of the match, not because he was better wrestler, but in a sense, he's better to read the fans. He really pissed off the fans. He told the fans, move out of the way, I'm going to throw him at you. And then when they moved out of the way, he tricked them and then threw Cage into the ring. I like that. That was psychology there. Psychology 101. Like I said, you need to be a well-rounded wrestler. You can have high flying when you need it. You have ring psychology and grapple wrestling. Moose got like 2 of the 3. He's got, grapple wrestling also has power, so he's got that and psychology. He's not really a high-flying wrestler. So he has 2 out of the 3 I think is good in that respect of wrestling. But he has a lot of the tools to make him a main eventer, no problem, wherever he goes. In the end, nearing the end of the match, I didn't really think of Eddie. I admit I forgot. Until Eddie comes out and started beating the crap out of Moose, wearing just shorts, a gown that I used to fold gowns when I used to work, because I am disabled now. I used to work at 2 different nursing homes at different times. And one of the things I used to do that I hated was to fold gowns. And he's wearing... that actually went in my mind when I saw him only wearing a gown and shorts, barefoot and crazy, baby. There's the title. Barefoot and crazy. He comes out, beating up on Moose, diving out of the ring with Moose, getting the candlestick with Moose, and just whacking his ass. So now the question's going to be, where are they going with Moose? Where are they going with Eddie Edwards? There needs to be a stipulation, like what happened with the women, with Taya and Tessa. A stipulation will be at Homecoming. These guys need a stipulation. One that will stick. That will change either one of them permanently. This is what we need. But that's just me. You guys tell me below. Now, let's make this very clear. What we got here is the last match and the last show of the year, like I said in the beginning of this review. So, I do not know if I'll be doing SmackDown Live. Maybe. I might do SmackDown Live, an overview of it, because it is recorded. I don't know if I'll do a full review of each week going into January. So, I'll be considering, unless you guys tell me below, do SmackDown reviews, I'd probably be leaving it. But I will be uploading one more video before the end of the year, and that will be telling you guys on something that I've been working on, because I finally finished what I have been working on. So the next video that you will see will be a connection to where the trailer of my other channel is and the animation I did. And it will not be wrestling related. I'm sorry. I know if you guys were thinking it was going to be wrestling related, I'm not far enough along in animation to be able to do a wrestling animation. I'm not there. But I have managed to do something else entirely different. So hopefully you like it when I leave the connection and the video to it. But you guys tell me below. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!